Hey guys, welcome back to OverTakes. This is Misfit.
And I'm Cal.
We're going to hit you with some news. This is rumors and things we've heard through the grapevine, and so I'm sure you guys have heard some of it too. What's coming up for Season 2? I'm sure Blizzard's going to release bits and pieces here and there, but we're going to talk about that. If you're new to the program, thanks a lot for joining. We do Overwatch League coverage generally 2 to 3 times a week in the off-season, pretty much 4 to 5 days a week during the regular season and the playoffs and all that stuff. So let's jump into this. Now, the rumors are flying all over the place.
Yeah, and one thing I want to touch on before that is like all these rumors, like everything. Some of it seems pretty legit, and we've gotten some pretty interesting sources on these too. The biggest thing is like I just don't know when we're gonna get confirmation with them. That's my biggest issue with it. We could hear this weekend when the U.S. wing of the World Cup starts, or we could be waiting until BlizzCon. I'm pretty sure by the time BlizzCon rolls around, I think we're going to have a really good idea of exactly how many teams we'll have, any format changes, all that stuff. I feel like by the time BlizzCon rolls around, we will know most, if not all of that information for sure. We'll have team names, colors, all that stuff. Yeah. But between now and then, what's going to officially get announced, what's still going to be rumored, who knows? Yeah, who knows?
But sometimes with Blizzard, I get annoyed.
Yeah.
I know they leak stuff and I'm not saying this was leaked to because we saw a lot of this from Dave C on Benchmark. I'm not saying they told him this, but like little bits get leaked out.
Yeah.
Like with Heroes. And then it's like, you guys try and figure out the rest.
Right.
Which I'm okay with. But then, like a couple weeks later, they're like, all right, we've teased them enough, man. They're going absolutely fucking bonkers. Let's just drop it.
Right, like some things get like purposely teased by them.
Yeah.
And it's all completely controlled by them. And then other things like actually get leaked. And that's one thing that's kind of interesting with this league is how much of it is stuff that's being heard just from other teams. And because, I mean, when you have the more people that get told something, the bigger chance that it's going to get leaked to everybody.
Yeah. Definitely
NDAs aside. So like like you can throw out as many NDAs as you want, but the more you put out there, the higher chance that someone's going to say something.
Yeah.
Even if they signed a paper that they shouldn't.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know I couldn't say anything about that.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That specific thing? Oh.
Whoops.
Or they hint at it like in a like it's like with movies with spoilers when they certain people that when they're in like the superhero movies or even like Game of Thrones, they're like, you're not allowed to go on any press junket because you're going to open your mouth about something.
Yes.
But anyway, to the actually meat of this. So the rumor has it, the proposed Season 2 is going to be 28 matches, 2 segments. So
2 stages.
Or 2 stages.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm doing that again? So it's going to be 2 stages of 14 games each. That seems like a little low on the match level. I do think that people did burn out, and I think they noticed that.
Yeah. So I would not be surprised by them cutting some of the games and maybe going to 1 game a week. Or if they do play 2 games in a week, it'll be every once in a while. Like once a month, they'll play 2 games in a week. Just depending on how it all shakes out as far as scheduling. I could absolutely see that. And then it would be, they want to avoid the back-to-backs. Because, I mean, there was definitely some points where you're just like, what the fuck are they doing with the schedule? Where these guys are playing till 11 p.m. Pacific time. Then the next day, they got to wake up and play at 11 a.m. Pacific time.
Yeah, that Friday-Saturday turnaround. Mm-hmm. And they do that quite a bit. And I mean, sometimes you have to with the schedule.
Right.
But
you only got 12 teams. There's only so much you can play and all that. So it made sense. But it's just like, there's no way they can end up doing that again. So where it is, like, where you would have, okay, this team is going to play twice this week. They're going to play once at the beginning and then once at the end. That would make more sense.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking more along the lines of if they go that route. And then the rest of the time it's going to be like, okay, you play 1 game a week, except this, like,
the occasional, the occasional you have to play twice in a week just so they get enough matches in. This brings up to me is like we've been talking about expansion. it has the feel of 20 teams.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're drastically cutting that down, what that says to me is also, too, I mean, you got to throw in, even if you don't go to 20 teams, even if you stay pat at, 16 now? With some of the,
I think it's adding up to about 18.
Okay, so you got 18 teams.
Because we had the 6 was pretty much confirmed that there's going to be 6 teams coming in no matter what.
Yeah.
With the possibility of more. But 6 has pretty much been the standard that's been said by everybody, like, yeah, that's for sure.
So we got 6, but what it does is, and I kind of understand it from a standpoint of cutting back, because you got to take in consideration, they're playing in one studio.
Yeah. So
you have you have 6 more teams, which is at the previous schedule you had, that would be 6 more games. Or 12 more matches a week. 12 more matches a week.
Yeah.
And you have talent that you have to have. You have to have, on stage. You have to have
announcers.
crew.
You have to have your, your on stage people. You have to have your hype people. You have to have your desk analysts. Like that's a lot, and you got to have more for more of those games. Probably 2 more days a week at least.
Yeah.
Where you're having games. That's a lot, and that's a lot to put on those people already.
Yeah, and you're gonna have to, and you also have to take in consideration the actual, the people that actually work at the arena too.
Yeah.
You got to have extra shifts, and I know it's concession people and it's all this other stuff behind the scenes.
But it all adds up.
Yeah, I mean they're making money for sure.
Yeah, and it's not, but it's also. It's not just the money side of it; it's the semantics of it.
Yeah,
and the little details of like when you have to have these people here, how many more people you need to fill those spots, all that stuff. Like it's not just like, okay, here you brought in these teams, the teams are your responsibility, but then they got to think about all the other things that are going to come with that.
Yeah, they do, and they also have to consider too. You have a lot more Asian teams, so. You have to figure out what a good time to run their games is, so they can kind of get watched live at a normal time, because you're just running out of Los Angeles.
Right.
So, and same thing with European teams. I mean, in the United States, we can deal with it. 3 hours here or there, whatever. But you're talking 5, 10 hours, however, whatever the time zone difference is.
It's like a 18-hour difference, I think, or something like that. It's like or at least a 12-hour difference between
Korea and China.
LA.
China's probably a couple hours more, in fact.
So you get some really crazy time changes and times when some of these games are being played. So you're going to have to kind of adjust to that, and then it's just like you want to make sure if you're bringing in all these teams that they're going to actually get watched by the people who would want to watch them.
Yeah, which is how you got to grow the league, because if you want to eventually go to, which they're going to do, you want to go to localized teams and localized games, you have to build a fan base. Mm-hmm. If your fan base has to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to watch a match, they're not going to do it.
It's just not going to happen.
Well,
you're going to get a few
consistently.
You're going to get a few here and there, but you're not going to get nearly what you could get if it's at a reasonable hour.
Right. And
where that locale is.
So I kind of get the main point is we kind of get the 28. I would have liked to have seen maybe just tack 2 more games on and do 3 stages.
Yeah.
Maybe lengthen the gap a little bit in between them.
Something like that.
Something like that. Unless they're going to split it in half and then stick the All-Star game in the middle, kind of like we said, and have like a break.
Right.
Maybe they do the month break then, and then they do like a 2-week break at the end after
the season 2 final.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they even run those.
Yeah, if they even do the stage finals.
I mean, that might be another thing. Honestly, it didn't really make a difference. It made a difference in some people's wallets.
Yeah.
That's about it. In fact, like we talked about it before, it had no meaning.
Yeah, unless they go the route of the points thing.
Yeah. The points thing would be great, but...
Which is something we talked about in one of our other videos. I think it was one of our wish list ones. Check those out if you haven't. But that's something that I think we really think would add a lot to it.
Yeah. It would add a little juice to it, because, I mean, you got to it, and you're like, all right, this is fun, this is tense, but it really means fuck all, man.
Yeah, it really does.
And I want it to mean something.
Yes.
I wanted to have, like, all right, so, say, you know, like, if you look at it, Seoul could have been in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Even though they didn't get into a stage final or anything like that, they played really well in the first stage. There was a possibility of them. They got beaten, and they at the end of the stage and got knocked out, but what if a team like Seoul got in there? Or, you know, another team, any
like
team.
Houston
or any one of those teams that are in the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure.
They were on the bubble.
What if the Shock had come back after they got some of their guys in that they'd been waiting on?
Or Dallas, when Dallas made it into the last stage playoffs, and what if they won it? They would have been in the playoffs. Or they would at least had a shot.
Yes.
I mean, that's a thing with that. Now, the team count, I keep going back to that.
Yeah, we've touched on it there, where it's looking like it's going to be probably 20 teams total now.
Now, I'm personally a little wary of that.
Yeah, I am slightly as well. I think they can make it work.
I do too.
I feel like the biggest thing, if they do this, then, and this could be a whole nother show, then their need to improve their path to pros and change the tier 2 stuff.
Yeah.
That must coincide with any other things that they do, because it will be absolutely crucial to build up their player base.
And they have to run it in a structure similar. We're definitely going to get into this in the offseason before, because we got a lot of player movement going on and things like this. So we're kind of concentrating on that right now. They have to structure it like the Overwatch League, so we don't have situations like we did last year where people were used to playing tournaments and then they're in this grind.
Yeah.
That, I mean, it's not that they can't handle it; they weren't ready for it.
Right. Exactly.
You know, and it's a hard deal. Now, and with me, most of the stuff with the 20 teams, I love it when there's expansion and stuff like that. I want to see it. I want to see the teams and the logos and, you know, all that kind of fun stuff. You know, all the cool things that they're going to do with that. And plus, you know, I mean, I know there's only going to be 28 matches, but it's going to make more matches during the week, which I'm down with.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I want to see more.
Right, because it's only going to be 28 matches per team, but when you're adding 8 more teams, that's
a lot more games.
Way more games. So yeah,
we might have to add a third person.
Right, no kidding. But yeah, like
someone to stay up and watch the Chinese games or whatever. Because
the other big rumor that came out this weekend was that China is going to, not only are they going to be adding Jiangsu. Yes, they're going to be adding Jiangsu. That's one that we pretty much know for sure. Confirmed at this point. They already have Shanghai, but there's rumors that there's going to be 2 more additional Chinese teams, bringing their total up to 4. I mean, so that right there is 4, plus Paris, Atlanta, and Toronto that we already know of, and possibly Busan. And I feel like if with that, you got to add another.
You have to add another. So are they going to do another?
You got to add another European team, I would think.
European? Yeah, because, I mean...
Melbourne is still another rumor in there as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's cities like they talk about Bangkok. I mean, I've heard rumors of, like, Stockholm and Madrid and all this other stuff. It's basically going to boil down to who's going to dump the money on the table.
Right. And is possibly the Melbourne team going to be a Chinese owner? Like, that's one thing that's kind of that's kind of my own theory, but it's definitely a possibility where they could be trying to pull in that 2 different audiences with their own money.
It's a possibility.
It absolutely is.
And like I said, and whoever has the money, but you got the Chinese teams. Now, this is leading more towards what we talked about also in our wish list thing, is the UEFA kind of thing.
Yes.
Where I think you're going to have, at some point, you're going to have 3, maybe 4 segmented areas. Europe, maybe Southeast Asia, Australia.
And then the Americas.
And then everybody does battle after the 28 games. See, it's all kind of leading into this situation. Because they're definitely structuring it a little like the NFL. They're like pulling from all these leagues.
Yeah.
A little like Premier League, a little like the NFL. They tried the NBA, NHL style, and it was honestly too hard on the players.
Yeah.
And we said that all year last year. And it was brutal trying to come up with content. Not come up with it, but do the content. It's like, oh shit, we got all these games. We got 2 days to do recaps, previews, all that stuff. I mean, it's going to be harder next year.
Yeah.
But 6 months, that's a long time. The 20 teams, and I keep saying this, I'm worried about the product being diluted.
Yeah.
And this also goes back to the contenders. There's a lot of great players. Now, are they going to run the well in Korea dry? I mean, seriously. I mean,
they're going to be gutting Korean contenders, I feel like, because there's at least, we already know of 2 teams, at least, that are going to be gone, and that's Runaways and Kangdu Panthera.
Not to mention other teams.
And then I'm sure you go down the list of those, and then, like, are there other European contenders? There's U.S. contenders teams that could get gutted, and then it's just like, okay, where's that going to leave the rest of contenders?
Yeah. And you don't want, like, Grandmaster ladder players. You want guys that are, like, beyond that.
Right.
That's what I mean in your professional league. That's why I'm a little afraid. I mean, there were a lot of guys that should have been in the league that weren't last year.
And that's the other thing is, like, can you do enough to draw in those guys that weren't there?
But are there 50 guys?
Right.
50 plus.
That's the other thing is, like, do you want to go with your top 500 players? Like, when you have your top 500, does that want to be the indication, like, is that their whole goal? Where it's like, you make it into top 500, you can play in the league.
Yeah.
Type of thing. Because, I mean, that's kind of where it is with most other of the big professional sports teams. Like, you have about 500, or not even that many, in, like, the NBA.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. Like, those are the best basketball players in the world play in that league.
And they have, what, a 15-man roster?
Yeah.
Very similar to the Overwatch League.
Right.
Roster size-wise. Same thing with the NHL. That's why I was hitting on some of the stuff that, they were trying, like, with that, too. But do you have that many people playing Overwatch right now that are at that skill level?
Right.
That's my question. And yes, you can say, well, there's this guy on X Korean team that's amazing that doesn't, and, there's guys like Jonak. There's going to be plenty of guys like Jonak that come up, like, they pulled him from ladder.
Yeah, you'll find some
ladder because they pulled him from ladder because some of the fucking pros were playing with him and were like, dude, this guy's insane.
Yeah. My number one guy that I want to see in the league next season, ML7.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised somebody offers that dude a ridiculous contract because his Ana is one of the most disgusting I've ever seen.
And Ana's going to be played a lot more. She already is.
And it's not just Ana for him either. Yeah. That's the other thing.
Yeah, I mean, but there's situations like that. But that was like this whole season thing. And then we also had, we didn't touch on this on our last show, the Spitfire hired a new coach. Okay, so, yeah, the Spitfire hired a new coach, Kwang Bak, Coach 815. And now, if you guys don't know, I didn't know too much about it until they
had that press release.
Yeah, the press release. Now, this dude is like been in esports since esports more or less. He doesn't look that old either. So like, he started coaching Brood War, esports Brood War. So that throws him back a long ways. And London's not messing around. I think they got a guy. Now he's had a long history with esports, and he's been doing stuff in the Overwatch contenders MVP space.
Okay.
So he was coach at MVP space. So are they the best team? No, but he's a really good coach though.
Yeah.
And he's been around the block. I mean, they made the round to 8.
Yeah.
The round of 8 is not bad, guys. Especially Korean contenders round of 8.
Right.
That's the championship game. That's the Western Conference playoffs in the NBA. But I think that's a good move for them because they needed somebody, and he's got structure in other leagues, so he has a battle plan. Yeah. He's not kind of a guy. I mean, yeah, they had decent coaches. He's not a guy that just kind of knows Overwatch. He knows the whole package. Right.
So he will be able to help them with the grind, that aspect of it, setting up a whole system of how it's or how they want to go about things and all of that. So that's going to be huge for them. And it's crazy that a team that just won the championship is making such drastic changes. But I mean, when you have opportunities to get guys in there with that, and then you're constantly evolving. I mean, that's how you win. That's how you establish yourself. You gotta make the changes where they need to be, and and build up what you've already established.
And that probably would be the one where you put your finger on and go, that was probably our biggest problem last year, was the whole coaching thing.
Yeah.
They came through in the end.
Right.
But I still say it was more the players doing a lot of the just profit being profit and the rest of them being the rest of what they do.
Right. And just really focusing and really gearing into it and just going for it. Because, I mean, there was like a complete 180 for some of these guys, Gesture especially.
Yeah.
I mean, when Gesture and Profit really started to go for it, that's when that team they flipped a switch and just rode it.
And now they need a coach that has good battle plans and stuff like that, and helps them with the, like you said, the other stuff, the grind.
Yeah.
And if they get that,
watch out. They could be doing what New York did in the regular season, and then what they did in the playoffs. So,
and then you only have 28 games on top of it.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. That's a pretty big pickup for them.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what they end up doing with that.
That's going to do it for this one, guys. So we're going to wrap this up. We just wanted to hit on the rumors. We're definitely going to have our, ear to the ground, so to speak, checking things out, seeing what's going on. We'll definitely keep you updated and give you our thoughts, and definitely throw down your thoughts in the comments. This is kind of a cool time of year just to see what's going on.
Right. It's F5 season for sure.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is that March part of football season when they say, okay, the new season starts now. Everybody gets released and free agent signing starts and all that stuff. It's great. It's fantastic. But and just one side note, don't get too attached to players, please.
Right, and if you do, or watch their stream or whatever, there's all kinds of different stuff. Like that's one thing, guys.
It's gonna happen.
It's a business.
Yeah, it's a business.
There's going to be changes. There's going to be things that happen behind the scenes that we just don't know. There's going to be chemistry issues of why guys get released. You might think that they're really, really good, but they just didn't fit with that particular group. Maybe they can better themselves and they can find a better situation for what is going to work better for them. And I think that's going to happen for a lot of these guys.
Yeah, I think so. And, a lot of the times they're doing it for the players' benefits, like we said in the last.
And one other thing to keep in mind is, think about how quickly everything went into motion last year to get the league established in general. There was a lot of moves that were somewhat questionable. They look back and they're like, why did we do that? And it's just like they just didn't have time to really go through and evaluate players properly and all of that stuff. So there's going to be more time for the established teams to do that. There will be some of that happening with the newer teams that are coming in. So it's going to be kind of a mix of both.
Yeah, and they really should work on the visa thing.
Yes.
Now.
Oh, God. Yes.
Because it hurt a lot of teams. Like, I think that kind of screwed up Philadelphia a little bit, too. They had, travel stuff and all kinds of weird crap going on before they missed the preseason.
Yeah.
But I think that we'll see what happens because the signing starts on Sunday. I will be in Vegas on Sunday night and for the rest of the weeks. But I'll be on social media, and Kel might do some stuff. I'll be back by Saturday. Hopefully not broke. I'm missing the Broncos game, so I won't waste my money on that on Sunday. Anyway, speaking of that, one last thing. Big shout out to the Oakland Raiders. Thank you very much for getting rid of your best player and keeping the rest of my team safe and sound, and enjoy the basement because we're going to be actually the one team that's above you in that. So have fun down there. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this episode. If you like what you hear, please hit a like, hit a subscribe. If you are a new listener, thank you very much. And for all you guys that come in and have been supporting us for the long haul or just in the last week or two or whatever, thank you as well. You guys have a good rest of your day. Keep your eyes peeled for all kinds of stuff going on because it's crazy right now. Yeah. And we will talk to you later.
Catch you guys on the next one. Later.